There's a strange war happening inside you. You dream big. You want more. You feel like you're meant for something extraordinary. But when it's time to act, you stall. You scroll. You wait. You wonder why nothing's moving. This isn't just procrastination. It's a pattern. And it's quantum. Because deep down, your desire and your identity aren't aligned. You're trying to manifest a future while vibrating with your past. You're asking the universe to deliver what you haven't yet embodied. And here's the brutal truth. The quantum field doesn't care about your goals. It mirrors your state. So if you're ambitious but inactive, if you talk big but move small, you'll stay stuck not because you're lazy, but because your frequency says, not ready. This video isn't about motivation. It's about quantum responsibility. Because once you realize that you're not stuck, you're just mismatched. Everything can shift. 1. Ambition without energy alignment creates friction. You can have the biggest dreams in the world, but if your energy doesn't match those dreams, nothing moves. Ambition is a beautiful starting point. It awakens vision, desire, and potential. But the quantum field doesn't respond to intention alone. It responds to vibration. When the energy behind your ambition is fear, lack, or self-doubt, it creates an invisible resistance that blocks the flow. Many people are ambitious, but they're operating from a state of contradiction. They dream of wealth but carry deep-rooted beliefs of unworthiness. They want love but fear vulnerability. They want purpose, but secretly dread the responsibility. This creates internal tension. You're trying to drive forward with the brakes on, and the friction that follows feels like burnout, confusion, or stagnation. The universe doesn't deliver what you wanted, reflects who you are. When your ambition says, I want more, but your energy says, I'm not ready, the field listens to the latter. It always prioritizes coherence over noise. So if your words and frequency are out of sync, the outcome you're chasing will always feel out of reach. This friction is not failure, it's feedback. It's the quantum field showing you where you're split, where your identity doesn't yet support the vision you're holding. That discomfort is a compass. It points you to the exact frequency gaps you must close. Not by pushing harder, but by recalibrating the way you show up energetically. Ambition, when fueled by misalignment, becomes exhausting. You may start strong but lose momentum quickly. That's not laziness, it's energetic dissonance. You're working against your own current. Instead of chasing your goal, pause and ask, who do I need to be to allow this with ease? The answer is always energetic, not external. Real momentum happens when ambition and alignment merge. When your inner state mirrors your outer vision, effort becomes effortless. Things click. Doors open. You're not hustling, you're harmonizing. You're not pushing against life, you're flowing with it. This is when quantum shifts happen fast. Friction is your signal that something's misaligned, not just in your actions, but in your identity. Are you still thinking like your old self while asking for a new life? That energetic mismatch creates tension that no amount of hard work can override. Your job isn't to grind through it's to resolve it. The solution isn't to lower your ambition, it's to raise your alignment. That means shifting your thoughts, emotions, habits, and beliefs to reflect the reality you want. Embody the version of you who already has it. Feel the frequency before the form. This is how you bridge the gap between dreaming and receiving. When you align with your ambition, resistance disappears. The same goal that once felt heavy now feels inevitable. You don't doubt you know. You don't you become. That level of clarity collapses timelines. It tells the universe, I'm no longer hoping I'm ready. And reality responds to readiness faster than it ever responds to force. So if you feel stuck, don't question your ambition, question your energy. What are you radiating right now? Is it lack, hesitation, fear? Or is it certainty, worthiness, and alignment? Because the truth is simple. When your ambition aligns with your energy, nothing can stay stuck. Friction fadasand flow begins. 2. Laziness isn't the problem, it's misaligned identity. What we often call laziness is rarely a lack of ability or ambition. It's a misalignment between who you think you are and what you're trying to do. When your identity doesn't match your vision, your system resists. You'll avoid the work not because you're incapable, but because something inside you believes, this isn't who I am. And that inner conflict quietly shuts everything down. Your body always follows your identity. If you still see yourself as undisciplined, unworthy, or behind, you'll subconsciously reject the habits required to create your future. It's not that you're lazy, it's that your current self-concept doesn't support the life you're trying to build. Until that changes, no amount of motivation will stick. We're taught to push harder, hustle more, shame ourselves into action, but you can't bully yourself into alignment. You must become the version of you who naturally does what your goals require. The actions you're avoiding are usually incompatible with the story you're still telling yourself. That's where the real rewiring needs to happen. If your subconscious still believes you're the one who always gives up, or the one who fails, it will sabotage consistency. Not because you're broken, but because your mind is trying to protect the old version of you. And that's where many people stay stuck, not in laziness, but in loyalty to an outdated identity. Change happens when your identity evolves. When you begin to see yourself as the type of person who is disciplined, creative, focused, you start showing up differently. Not by force, but by embodiment. The tasks you once resisted now feel natural because they align with who you believe you are. This is why affirmations alone don't work unless they're felt. You can repeat, I am successful, 1,000 times, but if your nervous system doesn't believe it, your energy won't shift. You have to become emotionally congruent with the new identity you're choosing. That inner congruence is what activates external change. Laziness disappears when the inner narrative changes. You stop needing willpower when your actions flow from a new self-image. You begin making choices from alignment instead of obligation. Productivity stops being a battle, it becomes a reflection of who you now are. Misaligned identity creates internal friction. You might want to build, but if you still see yourself as broken, stuck, or small, you'll unconsciously slow down or self-sabotage. The solution isn't more hustle, it's a deeper inquiry. Who do I believe I am right now? And does that version support the life I want? To shift this, begin showing up as the future version of you before the results appear. Speak like them, move like them, decide like them. The goal isn't to fake anything, it's to calibrate your energy to a new truth. And when that truth is lived from the inside out, laziness dissolves. So the next time you feel lazy, ask yourself, what identity am I holding onto that no longer serves me? Because underneath your inaction isn't weakness, it's misalignment. And once you shift who you are, you'll be shocked at how naturally you begin to act. 3. The quantum field reflects state, not desire. You can want success with every cell in your body, but the quantum field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. Desire without embodiment becomes static in the field. It lingers as an unmet frequency. The universe is not ignoring you, it's simply mirroring your current state, not your future wish. Most people confuse desire with readiness. They think wanting something hard enough should attract it. But in quantum reality, it's not intensity of want, it's clarity of being. The version of you who has the thing already lives at a different frequency. Until you match that frequency internally, the outer shift cannot land. You are a signal tower, broadcasting your inner state at all times. That broadcast is stronger than any vision board or goal list. It's encoded in how you feel, how you speak, how you move through space. And the field, the quantum mirror, reflects exactly what you radiate, not what you fantasize about. This is why people stay stuck despite their vision. Their energy says, I'm still waiting, while their mouth says, I'm manifesting. That contradiction weakens the signal. The field gets mixed messages. And so reality delays, not out of cruelty, but because incoherence cannot stabilize new outcomes. To shift your timeline, you must shift your state, not just your statements. That means feeling abundant before money shows up, feeling loved before the relationship, feeling confident before the opportunity. This isn't delusion, it's energetic leadership. You decide your state, not your surroundings. The quantum field is like a tuning fork. It resonates only with what is already vibrating on the same level. If your body is tense with doubt but your words are shouting affirmation, the field will match the tension, not the chant. Energy doesn't lie, and that's your greatest power. So many wonder why their manifestations feel blocked. The answer is almost always this: they're trying to manifest from the problem instead of from the solution. You can't hold the frequency of lack and expect abundance. The field reflects the dominant signal, not the fleeting thought. Your emotional baseline becomes your energetic signature. If fear, guilt, or frustration dominate your state, that signature gets sent out consistently, and the field responds accordingly. This is not punishment, it's precision. It gives you back what you're committed to, consciously or not. To change what you attract, you must elevate your being. This means regulating your nervous system, reprogramming your beliefs, and practicing the emotions of your desired future now. It's an internal renovation. And once the signal changes, the reflection has to change. This is why awareness is your superpower. You can't shift what you don't see. When you notice your state drifting into fear, victimhood, or passivity, pause, reset, realign. Every moment is a chance to re-enter the frequency of your next reality. No action is more powerful than that alignment. You are not begging the universe to give you something. You are becoming the version of you who already lives in it. And once your system believes it's real, the field stops resisting. That's when life accelerates, timelines collapse, and opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. It was never about convincing the universe. It was always about becoming undeniable. When your state is stable, consistent, and coherent, you don't need to chase, you attract. The field simply has no choice but to meet you where you are, because energy only ever echoes itself. So remember this: the quantum field doesn't hear what you say, it reads what you are. And when who you are begins to reflect what you desire, desire disappears, and embodiment begins. 4. Discipline is frequency calibration. Discipline is not about controlling yourself, it's about aligning your energy. In the quantum realm, every repeated action is a signal, a vote for who you are becoming. When you stay consistent, not for validation, but for coherence, you calibrate your frequency to match your highest timeline. Most people misunderstand discipline as punishment or restriction. But in its highest form, discipline is devotion. It's not about forcing yourself to act, it's about honoring your future self through repetition. Every small act of commitment becomes a tuning fork that brings your reality into sharper resonance. Your frequency is constantly shifting, and without conscious direction, it defaults to the path of least resistance, usually your past patterns. Discipline interrupts that. It says, I choose who I am now. Each habit is a declaration to the universe. This is what I'm available for. The quantum field doesn't reward scattered signals. If you meditate once and doubt for days, your vibration remains unstable. Discipline stabilizes the field. It builds momentum. It creates a frequency that is impossible to ignore, not because it's loud, but because it's steady. Think of discipline as energetic consistency. When your actions align with your intentions over time, your vibration strengthens. You're not just thinking about change, you're embodying it. The field mirrors that embodiment, not your temporary inspiration. What feels like a routine on the surface is actually a ritual of identity underneath. Waking up early, showing up to create, staying off distractions, these aren't just behaviors. They are energetic codes that tell the quantum field, I'm serious about this frequency. And here's the truth. The stronger your signal, the less force you need. When your discipline calibrates your vibration, manifestation becomes more about alignment than effort. You stop chasing outcomes because the field begins to bring them to you as a natural extension of your state. There's a sacredness to showing up even when it's hard. Those moments, when nobody sees, when it would be easier to quit, that's where frequency solidifies. That's when you stop being someone who hopes and start being someone who is. And the universe always reflects that shift. People wait for motivation to act, not realizing that action generates frequency. Every disciplined step tells your nervous system, we are safe in change. That safety becomes the foundation for expansion. You're not forcing your future, you're preparing your field to hold it. Discipline dissolves doubt because it builds evidence. With every aligned choice, you teach yourself that you're capable, trustworthy, and worthy. That inner confidence isn't hype, it's frequency. And frequency is the real magnet of manifestation. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent enough to shift your baseline. The field doesn't need flawless effort, it needs coherent energy. And coherence comes from repetition with intention, not perfection with pressure. When discipline becomes natural, you know you've shifted. You're no longer trying to become that next level version of yourself, you're living as them. And that state doesn't chase reality, it creates it. So the next time discipline feels hard, remember, it's not about the task, it's about the transmission. Every time you show up, you tune your energy. And eventually, the frequency becomes so clear, the universe has no choice but to echo it back. 5. Overthinking is an energy leak. Overthinking feels productive, but it's often just disguised fear. The mind loops because it's trying to control the uncontrollable, to find safety and certainty, but in doing so, it burns your energetic reserves. The more you analyze, the less you act. And in the quantum field, energy follows movement, not mental stagnation. The most powerful shifts come when your energy is focused, but overthinking fragments that power. Instead of moving forward with aligned action, you scatter your signal into doubt, scenarios, and what-ifs. The universe responds to coherence, not confusion, and overthinking scrambles that coherence fast. You weren't meant to figure everything out. You were meant to align and allow. There is intelligence beyond your thoughts, and it lives in your body, your intuition, and your energy. When you're stuck in the mind, you're cut off from the frequency of flow. That separation is what keeps your reality feeling stuck. The quantum field responds to emotional and energetic clarity. It doesn't care about your calculations, it mirrors your vibration. And when that vibration is dominated by worry, hesitation, and self-doubt, manifestation slows. You're leaking energy through the cracks of overanalysis. You don't need more answers, you need more presence. Overthinking is always future-focused or past-anchored, but manifestation only happens in the now. It's in your current alignment, not your predictions, that your next timeline is accessed. And thinking too much pulls you out of that access point. Energy is a currency, and your attention is how you spend it. When you spend all day in your head, questioning yourself or rehearsing outcomes, you're investing energy into distortion. That investment doesn't grow, it drains. And eventually, it leaves you tired, disconnected, and doubtful. Stillness isn't found in solving everything, it's found in surrender. When you trust your energy more than your logic, the field opens up. That doesn't mean becoming reckless. It means becoming receptive. Letting inspired action guide you, not anxious loops. You've probably noticed that clarity comes when you stop obsessing. Solutions appear when you finally walk away. That's not coincidence, it's alignment. Your energy softens, your nervous system calms, and suddenly, life flows again. That's the power of pulling your energy back from the noise. Overthinking is often just resistance dressed as responsibility. You delay action under the guise of figuring it out, but really, you're avoiding embodiment. The longer you stay in your head, the more disempowered you feel. Thought becomes a trap, not a tool. The truth is, you already know what to do. You're just afraid to trust that knowing. And so you loop. You hesitate. You seek more proof. But the quantum field doesn't need your proof. It needs your presence. When you stop needing certainty, you finally create space for miracles. Every time you overthink, ask yourself, what am I trying to control right now? Most often it's safety, but true safety doesn't come from solving every variable, it comes from energetic trust. That trust says, I'll move, even without all the answers, because my energy will lead the way. The most magnetic people aren't the ones who know the most, they're the ones who feel the most aligned. They don't waste energy doubting their path. They move with calm certainty, and that certainty becomes a gravitational pull. That's how energy works. It follows clarity. Your mind is a powerful servant, but a terrible master. Let it support your vision, not suffocate it. Use thought for strategy, not survival. And when it becomes too loud, come back to breath, movement, or silence, anything that recenters your energy. Leaking energy through thought is one of the fastest ways to lose momentum. It's subtle, and it feels safe, but it's deceptive. You're not weak for overthinking, you're simply misdirecting power. Reclaim it by choosing simplicity, alignment, and action. So the next time you catch yourself spiraling in thought, pause, breathe, come back to your body. Ask, what energy am I holding right now? Then shift. Because the moment your energy clears, the universe hears. 6. Your body is the gateway to momentum. Your mind might hesitate, but your body always knows how to move. When you feel stuck energetically, the fastest way to shift is not by thinking differently, it's by moving differently. Motion changes your vibration. It grounds you back into presence, and momentum is born in movement, not in thought. The body carries stored energy, some of it yours, some inherited, and much of it unconscious. When you move your body, you begin to release what's been trapped. Stagnation isn't just mental. It lives in your posture, your breath, your stillness. That's why movement resets your energy field faster than any affirmation can. Quantum energy flows through your body like electricity through a wire. But when you're sedentary, anxious, or disconnected, the signal becomes blocked. Stretching, walking, exercising, even dancing clears the static. It's not about fitness. It's about frequency. The more you sit still in fear or overthinking, the more your nervous system contracts. That contraction limits flow. It tells the universe, I'm bracing for danger. But when you open your chest, take a deep breath, or stand tall, your energy broadcasts a very different message. I'm safe. I'm ready. Your body is the vessel of your timeline. Every version of you, the one who succeeds, creates, leads, exists in a specific embodied state. You don't become that version by waiting to feel ready. You enter their posture, their rhythm, their movement, and then your reality begins to respond. We often forget that discipline starts in the body. You don't just think your way into aligned action, you initiate it with physical momentum. Even small shifts, making your bed, cleaning your space, going for a walk, generate energy that compounds. Energetic slumps are often physical first. Poor sleep, shallow breathing, and lack of motion dull your field. Recharging isn't just mental rest, it's somatic reset. Your body processes your past in ways your mind cannot. So healing your body is also how you upgrade your frequency. Stillness can be sacred, but if it turns into paralysis, it becomes energetic decay. The universe doesn't need perfection, it needs motion. Progress, even in micro steps, is magnetic. When you move your body, you prove to the field, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm arriving. The version of you who feels powerful moves with presence. They're not frantic, they're not lazy, they're embodied. Their energy doesn't leak because their body holds alignment. You don't have to fake confidence, you just need to step into it physically until it becomes real. Your mind stores patterns, but your body stores permission. The more you train it to move through resistance, the more natural aligned action becomes. Eventually, motion isn't forced, it's flow. That's when life starts meeting you halfway. Think about the most defining moments of your life. Were you sitting still, thinking them into existence? Or were you doing something, stepping forward despite fear? Movement creates memory. It also creates magnetism. The field responds to what you do, not just what you dream. Your breath is your reset button. The moment you feel stuck, pause and take 5 deep breaths. Inhale clarity, exhale resistance. That alone shifts your chemistry. And when your chemistry shifts, so does your vibration. The body is the bridge. If you wait to feel motivated, you'll wait forever. Motivation is born from momentum, and momentum is physical. One conscious movement tells your system, we're no longer stuck. And that signal cascades into thoughts, emotions, and external reality. Manifestation doesn't require complexity, it requires coherence. And coherence comes from integration, mind, body, energy, all working as one. Your body is not separate from your spirit. It is the instrument your soul plays to move through this world. When you're disconnected from your body, you're disconnected from your timeline. That's why physical numbness often accompanies emotional confusion. Reconnect to your senses, Eat mindfully. Walk barefoot. Breathe intentionally. Come home to your body. The future you want lives in a body that moves, not hesitates. A body that holds energy, not fear. And when you treat your body as sacred not because of how it looks, but because of what it carries, your frequency begins to rise effortlessly. Energy doesn't move until you do. And while the mind can resist, the body is loyal. It responds to intention. So when in doubt, shift your physiology, change your state, let your body lead. Your mind will catch up and so will your reality. So if you're feeling stuck right now, don't think harder, move smarter. Because the universe isn't waiting for a perfect plan. It's waiting for a single, aligned step. And that step starts in your body. 7. Real growth requires discomfort. Real transformation doesn't happen inside your comfort zone, it begins the moment you step outside of it. Growth demands more than desire. It demands the willingness to stretch beyond what feels safe. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the evidence that expansion is taking place. The version of you who is calm, clear, and aligned exists on the other side of temporary discomfort. Most people run from it, but the brave ones recognize it as the bridge. When you learn to sit with discomfort without shrinking, you become someone who can hold more power. Discomfort is the fire that burns off what no longer fits. Your old habits, identities, and excuses cannot coexist with your future self. That burn is the price of becoming. Avoid it, and you stay stuck. Embrace it, and you rise. In the quantum field, your energy must be bigger than your fear. That means doing the thing you've avoided. It means risking rejection, looking foolish, or failing publicly. Not because you want to suffer, but because you want to evolve. And evolution is rarely easy. Most people confuse ease with alignment. But often, the aligned path is the most uncomfortable one at first. It's the conversation you don't want to have, the habit you don't want to break, the decision that feels terrifying. But that fear? It's sacred. It points to where the shift must begin. Comfort is seductive. It's predictable, soft, and familiar. But it also creates energetic stagnation. You can't receive a new reality while clinging to an old vibration. The moment you choose ease over growth, you send the signal, "I'm not ready." And the universe listens. Your nervous system may resist discomfort, but your soul craves it. Not the pain, the progress. The soul doesn't fear discomfort because it knows the truth. Every challenge is a doorway. Every stretch is a signal that your capacity is expanding. Discomfort doesn't mean something is wrong. It means something important is happening. It's your old frequency being shaken loose. Your former limitations being tested. If you can lean into it, breathe through it, you'll find access to levels of power that used to scare you. Think of any powerful transformation in your life. It came with tears, fear, doubt, and pain. But on the other side, clarity, strength, alignment. The path wasn't comfortable, but it was real. And that realness reshaped you. We've been taught to avoid pain. But pain has wisdom. It tells you what needs healing, where you're misaligned, and what's asking to be released. Running from it only extends the lesson. Facing it with courage collapses timelines. There's no version of elevation that doesn't involve resistance. Even in nature, seeds crack, muscles tear, and storms rage before balance is restored. Your discomfort is not destruction, it's construction. It's building the version of you who can hold what you asked for. If your dreams are big, your discomfort will be too. Because manifestation doesn't come to the version of you who wishes it, comes to the version of you who transforms. And transformation means shedding, stumbling, and stretching. Discomfort is the tuition of mastery. It's the initiation fee for sovereignty. It teaches you to trust yourself when nothing makes sense, to keep moving when validation is absent, and to choose alignment over approval. You don't grow by getting everything right. You grow by walking through fear, falling forward, and learning through presence. The field doesn't demand perfection, it demands participation. And discomfort is your proof that you're participating fully. Every breakthrough you want requires a breakdown of what you currently are. That's the paradox of growth. You must become less of who you were to become more of who you are. It's messy, but it's sacred. The greatest power comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from mastering your energy inside it. Can you stay grounded while things shift? Can you stay soft while things get hard? That balanced strength without resistance is true alignment. If you always choose what's easy, you'll outgrow your life and wonder why you feel empty. Fulfillment lives in the space where effort meets purpose, and purpose demands that you do the hard things not to suffer, but to grow. Comfort protects the past. Discomfort creates the future. You were not built for hiding. You were built for rising. And your willingness to sit with discomfort is the signal that tells the universe, I'm ready to hold more. No one said it would be easy, but the path of discomfort is also the path of miracles. Because the more uncomfortable you're willing to get for your truth, the more powerful your energy becomes. That's how timelines collapse. So if you're in discomfort right now, don't escape it. Honor it. Because it's not the end, it's the edge. And the edge is where everything changes. If you've been wondering why your life isn't changing, even though you want more, look closer. The universe doesn't move because you wish louder. It moves when your energy matches what you're asking for. And right now, if your habits contradict your hunger, you're sending mixed signals into the field. This isn't punishment, it's precision. The quantum field responds to who you are, not who you say you want to be. So if you're ambitious but stagnant, the answer isn't more planning. It's embodiment. Show up like the version of you who's already living the vision, not to trick the universe, but to tune to it. Because once your actions echo your alignment, once your daily choices reflect your destiny instead of your doubt, you'll see something strange happen. Momentum, flow, pull, confirmation. You won't have to force it. Reality will meet you. And if this message found you, it's because your soul is done waiting. You're not lazy. You're misaligned. But now that you see it, you can fix it. Subscribe if this resonates. This isn't just a video, it's a frequency. And if you keep vibrating with it, your old self won't survive the shift that's coming. You're not stuck. You're just one alignment away from unstoppable.